Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Tom Glass. I am the editor-in-chief of English Teaching Forum. And as you can see, today's topic is Focus on Forum, English Teaching Forum. Today, we will be talking about English Teaching Forum. We will be talking about what Forum is, how to get published in Forum, and a little bit about writing and publishing in general. Before we get into the main content of the webinar, just want to welcome everybody. No matter where you are, I will let you know that today I am coming to you from Bangkok, Thailand. We just had a very nice sunrise here. It looks like it's going to be another beautiful day here. Probably a hot, beautiful day, but a beautiful day. So it's Friday morning here. I know that for some of you joining us, it is still Thursday, but wherever you are, I hope you're having a good day, and we look forward to having a productive and I hope an enjoyable webinar today with everyone. Okay, so again, my name is Tom Glass, editor-in-chief of English Forum, and I think with that we can get started with some of the main content here that I plan to go through on the webinar today. So you can see the topics for today. What is English Teaching Forum? What kind of content does Forum publish? How does an article get published? Why are some articles published but other articles are not published? What are some tips for publishing in general, but also Forum specifically? And then at the end, we should have time for questions. Maybe you have some questions, and maybe I have some questions for you. And I see we're getting some greetings from people. So hello to everyone who's joining us. Glad to have you with us today. So let's get started by talking about English Teaching Forum. Whether you call it a journal or a magazine, that's okay. Forum is a quarterly peer-reviewed journal published by the Office of English Language Programs. So you can see quarterly, that means it comes out 4 times every year. And it's also peer-reviewed, so you can be pretty sure that the quality of the articles, of the content in Forum is, we hope, very high and of interest and importance to teachers. You can see it is read by teachers in more than 100 countries. That's something that we are proud of, that we receive articles from teachers around the world, but we also have teachers around the world who read Forum. So we really think that it can be a worldwide journal, and it's a way for teachers around the world to join in a community together. Forum has been published since 1962. So very quickly, I will ask you, how is your math? How old is English Teaching Forum right now? First published in 1962. Anybody want to do the math and figure out how old English Teaching Forum is? Okay, so we can see first published in 1962. This is the 62nd year of publication for English Teaching Forum. We have not missed a year in all that time. So we are going 62 years and still going strong. A little bit more information about Forum. This is very important. The focus is on the practice of teaching English Forum's unofficial slogan is by English teachers for English teachers. And you see I put practice in red. I want to emphasize that it's the practice. We don't really publish research reports, but it's the practice, things that teachers can do. That is the focus of forum content. Also important to note that forum content is indexed in two databases, ERIC and EBSCO. And forum is available in print and online at the americanenglish.state.gov website. And I will bring that website URL back to you several times throughout the webinar. If you're wondering about the content that forum covers, there's so many things. I just have a few examples here: activities, games, projects, warm-ups, assessment, young learners, drama techniques, teacher training, of course, media literacy, class management, English for specific purposes, virtual or in-person or blended instruction, curriculum development, professional development, and more. And you can see there just about anything that teachers can do in the classroom or in their careers can be a topic for a forum article. Again, we are interested in articles that give teachers ideas about things they can do with their students, in their career, with colleagues, anything related to teaching and the teaching profession. Forum has four main sections that authors can contribute to, so I will go over those next. You see articles, teaching techniques, try this, and what we call my classroom. So let's look at articles first. Articles usually are about 2,000 to 6,000 words long, and they present a detailed description of a practice or approach. The articles give teachers clear guidance so they can implement the practice with confidence. I think guidance is an important word there. We hope that our articles will guide teachers and instruct them, let them know how to do the teaching technique or the approach that is described in the article. So you can see these articles are a little bit longer, up to 6,000 words. If you think about an academic article, that's what these articles are, usually with some references, some citations, just a short literature review just to show that the theory or the foundation is strong, but mostly the content will be on the practice, the practical side of teaching. Two examples of recent articles. First, Let Them Play, Board Games for Language Practice. That article, actually, it's not quite out yet. That will be available in the next month or two online in the next issue. And an article that we've just published in the most recent issue, Countering Disinformation Discourse in the English Language Classroom. We hear more and more about disinformation and how we can help students recognize disinformation and counter it. This article gives you some ideas and is a good start for educating English language learners about disinformation. The next kind of article is teaching techniques. Teaching techniques, usually under 2,000 words. So these are shorter articles. They describe a successful teaching practice in a short, straightforward article. And you can see there are no references required. We don't have a lit review in these short articles. Just let the teachers know clearly how to carry out the technique. Usually these articles start with a short description of a teaching challenge or problem that many teachers might face. And then the article just goes into describing a technique or a suggestion for how to solve that problem or how to get rid of that challenge. Two examples of recent teaching techniques: Motivated to Work, the Power of Choice Boards, an interesting topic, giving students choices to do tasks during the class. It's a great way if you have students at different levels in your classes They can all be busy and they can all be working on the same topic, but in different ways at the same time. And another article that is coming soon, 7 Wonders, bringing student-centered learning into the teacher-centered classroom. Some parts of the world, we have a lot of student-centered learning. In other parts of the world, a lot of teacher-centered classrooms. This is an idea for sort of transitioning from a teacher-centered to a student-centered learning classroom. That will be coming up in the next issue that we publish. Another section that I often recommend teachers to go to first when they read Forum, called Try This. These articles are usually under 2,500 words, so kind of short. They present a teaching idea, but in a step-by-step form. They do not use paragraphs like we are used to, but it's more step 1, do this. Step 2, ask students to do this. So step by step. These articles give clear guidance to support inexperienced teachers, although any teacher could use them. Again, if somebody picks up Forum for the first time, this is usually the section that I suggest that they go to first. Try this. I think the step-by-step form makes it easier to read, but also for a lot of people, this is the kind of article that they will try to write if they are just hoping to publish for the first time or they haven't had experience publishing. So Try This is something that I recommend first to a lot of teachers. Recent Try This, 7 speaking activities with emojis. If you're an emoji fan, or if your students like to use emojis, this was published just last year. There are some ideas for you there. And also another article from last year called The Happiness Game, a way to hopefully have your students practice English, but also be happy and talk about happiness while they are practicing English. One more section that I want to highlight here is called My Classroom. A little bit different. My Classroom articles present a profile of one or more colleagues or of a teaching context. So they don't necessarily focus on a teaching idea, but they describe a teaching context. And the idea is to show the rest of the world what it's like to teach English in that place. As we communicate with other teachers around the world, we see that many things are similar, but also we see that there are differences between what teachers have to teach, their situation, their class size, their responsibilities, the community around them, the administration. So many things can be different. And the My Classroom section gives teachers a chance to show what it's like to teach in their particular part of the world. Finally, there's one more section I want to highlight here. Usually we at Forum write these ourselves, but the lighter side presents a puzzle based on language. The puzzles are unique to Forum. We write them ourselves. We don't take them from other places. And you can find the puzzles on the inside back cover of each issue, and also at the americanenglish.state.gov website. I want to give you an example of one of the lighter side puzzles. We call this Vanilla Rice Stream. And the idea here is that in each sentence that we give you in the puzzle, we have 2 words that are wrong, that are in the wrong place, but they rhyme with 2 words that would make the sentence correct. So in this sentence, you can see my favorite dessert is vanilla rice stream. For these, you have to say the sentence out loud, and you will say, oh, rice stream in this sentence does not make sense. So what we ask you to do in this puzzle is to change the words rice stream to ice cream. So it would make the sentence would be my favorite dessert is vanilla rice. Or sorry, my favorite dessert is vanilla rice cream. We change that to my favorite dessert is vanilla ice cream. So um, that is the intent of the puzzle. I have just a few more for you here. We can take a look at one or two of these, and then we can move on. In the real puzzle, there are about 12. You can see the second one. Wow, she just jumped into the dimming school. Well, dimming school doesn't have any meaning. Does anybody want to suggest what we can change to what we can change dimming school to? Okay, we already have somebody suggesting we will change dimming school to swimming pool. So you can see that it rhymes. Um, this is a way to get your students to read the sentences out loud, try to notice that something doesn't make sense, and then find a way to make the sentence make sense by finding rhyming words. Let's just do one more, and then we can move on. For lunch they had hamburgers and bench flies. Anybody want to suggest how you can change two words in that sentence so that it will make sense? Okay, we have somebody suggesting a very good suggestion, and we have a few more suggestions coming in. Change bench flies to French fries. Right, bench flies. I don't think anybody would like to eat bench fly, bench flies. So we can change bench flies to French fries. So we could go on with these, but I think you get the idea. These are things that if your students are at a slightly advanced level, they can read these out loud, and then they can work together to try to correct or change the sentences. And in fact, if your students are advanced enough, you could even ask them to try to come up with sentences of their own with words that rhyme but don't make sense, and then they can exchange with their classmates. So this is just one example of a kind of puzzle that we offer in every issue of English Teaching Forum, puzzle in the lighter side section. So please look them up if you enjoy puzzles, and if you think your students might enjoy the um, the puzzles that we offer. Every puzzle is different. So this is just one example. There are other kinds, sometimes crosswords, some other kinds. We try to make it keep it varied and give you a variety of puzzles to choose from. Okay, so just to keep the webinar going, we will move on. I want to talk now about the steps for writing and publishing an article. What are the steps? The first step, what is step one? Um, this is actually two steps, I guess. You get an idea and you write the article. The first thing you have to do is have an idea, and then you write the article. Of course, that's not always easy. It's not always easy to get an idea. But let me just explain what happens if you have an article that you would like to publish. I will show you from the editor's point of view what happens in the submission process. After you write the article, it's a good idea to ask other people to read the article and give feedback. Could be colleagues, it could be teachers that you have had, people who will give you some advice about the article before you submit it to the journal. Step two is you submit the article to the journal. For forum, you will send it by email to that email address, etforum@state.gov. That's Gov. Most people will send their article as a Microsoft Word document with their email. Before you send the article, it's a good idea to check the submission guidelines. And I also recommend that you should always read articles in the journal before you submit your article to it, just to get an idea of the writing style, of the kind of topics that they cover. You don't have to read every article in every issue, but reading a few articles from the journal before you send your article in is a good idea, and maybe it will help you kind of shape your article a little bit to make it more likely to be published. Step 3 is an interesting one. You wait. You have sent your article to the journal. Now you just have to wait. What happens while you're waiting? During this time, the editor, such as me, and reviewers read your article and decide if they will publish it in the journal. So during this time, you are not really doing anything, but the editor and reviewers are reading your article and considering it. The reviewers usually have 3 choices. They can accept the article, they can reject the article, or they can say revise and resubmit. And I will explain these in a little more detail in a moment. You will receive the reviewer's decision and feedback. That's the next thing that happens. They finish their review. Now you get their feedback. If they say accept, okay, congratulations. That means your article will be published in the journal. Okay, that is great news. If it is reject, okay, that for you, maybe that's not such great news at the time. So if it is reject, you try to understand the reviewer's reasons. Usually they will give you some kind of feedback and explain why they made that decision. Maybe you will adapt the article and submit it to another journal. Okay, that's fine. If you submit it to one journal and they say, oh, this is not right for us, then you have a chance you can send it to another journal, and that's fine. If it is revise and resubmit, and this is common, then you revise and you resubmit the article. But it's important to make sure you follow the reviewer's suggestions when you revise the article. They will usually give you specific suggestions for how to revise. Maybe it's something like add some examples here, or make the introduction stronger and clearer, something like that. It can be related to the content. It can be related to the way that you've organized the article, but it means that they like your idea. So this is actually good news. If you submit an article and you get back a decision that asks you to revise and resubmit an article, that's good news for you. You have to do a little bit more work, but it means that the editor and reviewers think that your idea is a good one and could be publishable if you are able to revise it. So next, after you revise the article, you send it back to the editor to the same email. Again, for forum, it's etforum@state.gov. It's a nice idea to say thank you to the editor and reviewers for giving you a chance to rewrite the article. And the next step is you wait again, because they will again read and review, this time your revised article, and they will make a decision again. Will they accept it? Will they reject it? Or maybe sometimes it's possible they may ask you to revise and resubmit again. Step 7, you receive the decision, and let's say this time the reviewers have accepted your article. So now, time to celebrate. That is the news that you were hoping to hear, and that is the news that you got. Step 8, you're not quite done. Usually the editor and me and 1 or 2 other people will edit the article and make sure that it fits the journal's writing style. and that everything is correct the way it should be. And so we will send you an edited version of your article, and then we'll give you a chance to read it and make sure that everything is correct. You are happy with the article, ready to see it published. And then the final step is your article is published. Congratulations, you are famous. And so that is the step that you've been waiting for all this time. Now you're famous. You can celebrate with your friends, with your family, and go and enjoy being a famous published author. So those are the main steps for writing and publishing an article. You might ask how long all of this takes. It really depends. Usually to review an article, it can take anywhere from 2 weeks and sometimes up to almost 3 months, depending on the type of article, depending on whether reviewers are available. So you have to be a little bit patient during the process, but I want to assure you that the editors and the reviewers take the work seriously, and they would treat every submission carefully. So maybe you get a little bit impatient while you're waiting for the review, but it just means that the reviewers are reviewing many articles, but reviewing them carefully. And that's what you want. You want people to consider and review your work carefully. And so that's what we will do, and that's what editors and reviewers at any journal will do. So now let's take a look at some reasons that we will not accept an article. And maybe you have a few in mind already, but let me give you just some common reasons that we at English Teaching Forum might not accept an article. First, maybe the article or the topic is not new. It's something that we have published before, or something that is well known already. There should be something new and fresh about the teaching idea in the article. Sometimes the focus or the purpose is not clear. I'm sure many of you teach writing, and you might tell your students, make sure you have a topic sentence, make sure you have a thesis, make sure you have the main idea. Sometimes we get articles and it's not really clear what the purpose is. So that is something that you want to make sure when you're writing your article. What is the thing that teachers can get from this article? It could be that the article does not fit the journal. Maybe it's a good article, but it's not right for that journal. For example, I told you that English Teaching Forum has teachers all around the world reading it. And so therefore, our articles have to be relevant or be useful to teachers in more than one place. Not just the country that you're in, but in other countries as well. And that could be a reason why we would not accept the article. A big reason, if parts of the article are plagiarized, if they're copied from another article, we would not be able to publish that article. Some other reasons, sometimes if you have sources and they are outdated or old, that could be a reason, but usually in that case, we would ask you to find more current sources. And that can be especially true with articles about technology, because technology changes so quickly that if you are citing sources, articles from more than maybe 5 or 10 years ago, then that information is not current anymore. And finally, they're asking, but what about grammar? For English Teaching Forum, of course, we want to be able to understand the article, but if there are some grammar mistakes in an article, that is not a reason that we would say no to the article. As an editor, that's part of my job, is to correct the grammar, and that is something that it's not one of the main reasons that we would say no to an article. If the idea is good, but there are some grammar mistakes in the article, that is almost, it's not a problem. So sure, you should try to make your grammar correct, but if there are some grammar mistakes in the article, that would not be the reason that we would say no to the article. And then I will turn that around. What are some reasons that reviewers will accept the article? And these are kind of the opposite of what I just said. So common reasons that we will accept an article. Okay, the article idea is new and it's nice if it's interesting. A new teaching idea is good. New, fresh teaching idea. The focus or the purpose is clear. The article gives good examples so that when teachers read the article, they can see exactly what is happening with that teaching technique, or what the students are doing in that activity. And then again, the article fits the journal. That again, that's important for any journal. Some journals are focused on research. For Forum, the articles are focused on practical teaching ideas, and so that makes a big difference. A few tips for submitting to Forum. Okay, this is a little bit similar to what I just said, but I just want to repeat these tips because they are, I think, important. Present a new or innovative or fresh teaching idea. If it's an old teaching idea, but you have a new way to use it, a new twist, a new application, that can be fine, as long as the idea is new. Again, for Forum, focus on the practical rather than on research, what teachers can do. You might have a research project that you're doing. Okay, that's fine. But you would probably send your research article to another journal and not to Forum. But if you are doing research about a new teaching idea, then maybe you can describe the teaching idea, and that part can be submitted to Forum. Make the article relevant to a global audience. So Forum is read around the world, so the article cannot focus on just one country or just one first language. That is one of the, I think, benefits of Forum, is that the articles are written by teachers around the world for teachers around the world. So if your article is published, then you have a worldwide group of teachers reading your article. But you have to make sure that the article will be relevant and have benefits for teachers and learners in other countries as well, not only just your country. And one thing that I try to suggest is to guide the readers rather than report. And I said there, explain, here's what you can do, instead of here is what I did. Your experience can serve as an example, but in the articles, you're really trying to show teachers what they can do in their teaching and in their classrooms. It's kind of like if you are leading a workshop and you want to show teachers how to do an activity, and you will take them step by step through the activity. That's kind of what you do in English Teaching Forum articles. Start at the beginning and explain, you can do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. A little bit more than that, that's kind of basic, but you are guiding the teachers through the technique or the activity so that they can see exactly how it works if they want to try it themselves. If you're interested in writing a My Classroom article, it's a little bit different. We ask you to submit a proposal first. Remember, the My Classroom articles talk about a teaching context rather than a specific teaching idea. So we ask you to describe the context and use details that make the teaching situation unique. Show how teachers in that place deal with challenges. Use anecdotes and quotes to make the teacher or teachers there come alive. And we also ask you to provide high resolution photos. It could be of the teacher or teachers in that place, of a classroom, of the school, of the community around the school. Um, but the important part there is the first one, submit a proposal. If you have an idea for a My Classroom article, um, please send us a proposal, a paragraph or so explaining what you would like to write about and why you think it would be interesting to teachers in other parts of the world. And then we can get back to you with some advice about writing the article. A few frequently asked questions. These are questions that I often get as an editor. Uh, Teachers ask me this: is it okay for me to submit my article to more than one journal at a time? You have an article ready, you want to submit it. Can you submit it to many journals at the same time? And the answer to that is no, it's not. You can only send it to one journal at a time. The reasons: journal editors and reviewers spend a lot of time reviewing submissions. We try to complete the process as efficiently as possible, but please be patient until you have gotten feedback from the journal. So if we spend a lot of time reviewing your article and then we send it back to you and say, oh, this is great, we want to publish it, and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I sent it to another journal and they are publishing it already. Well, we're not going to feel very good because we just spent a lot of time reading and reviewing your article. So that's one reason that we ask people not to submit articles to more than one journal. And every journal has the same policy: only submit to one journal at a time. If you have two articles, you can send them to two journals. But if you have one article, send it only to one journal at a time. Is it okay to co-author or collaborate an article with someone else? And the answer is yes, sure. A lot of authors do this, and especially authors who have not published before. They don't have experience publishing article. They find that it can be easier and supportive to have someone to write the article with. Maybe that person has experience with publishing, maybe not. But it is something that a lot of people do, and they can find it to be a very rewarding experience to share ideas and then work on the article, work on the project together. Especially if you are co-teaching and you come up with a new idea, then you and another teacher or more than one teacher have worked on the project, have developed the idea. And so I think it makes sense for more than one person to write an article about that. Is it okay to use the first person point of view in forum articles, to use the word I or we or me? And for forum, the answer is yes, it is. We try to make the articles reader friendly. I know that a lot of academic articles do not include the word I, do not have first person. But for forum, it's okay. And a lot of times the teachers are sharing their experiences. They're explaining and describing the process, but they're giving examples from their own experience. So it's fine to use the word I in that case. And also, some articles are written in the second person as well, talking about you, meaning you, the teachers who are reading the article. So I think for the writing style for English Teaching Forum is probably less formal than in some other academic journals. But again, we want to make the articles reader friendly. And again, Forum is publishing content about the practice of writing. Here's what you can do as a teacher. Here's what I did. Here's what you can do. So that is one of the reasons that we allow less formal writing in our articles. And finally, what advice do I have for actually writing the article? Okay, I gave you some tips earlier. Just a few more things. Make sure that the thesis or the purpose is clear, so that after teachers begin reading the article, they know what the what the article is about very clearly. It helps to show why the topic is important. What teaching or learning issue does it address? How can it help teachers? If I'm a teacher and I read your article, what can I get from reading that article? How will it help me in my teaching? It helps to use specific examples that can help teachers see exactly how an activity works, exactly how a game can help with a specific grammar point or language point. Specific examples help a lot in forum articles. And something that I mentioned earlier, read the journal that you intend to submit to. Again, you get an idea of the writing style. You see some of the topics that the journal publishes on. You see how they use examples. This can really help you when you are trying to decide exactly how to write your article. So I would suggest reading a few forum articles before you write your article that you would like to submit to forum. But in any case, I hope that all of you, if you have a teaching idea that you've come up with, or there's been a challenge or a difficult part of your teaching, but you found a way to solve that problem, consider taking the idea that you have created, that you have developed, and consider writing an article for forum about it to let other teachers in other places know about it. If you're not confident in your writing, then maybe you can find someone to help co-author or collaborate, write the article together with. So I encourage all of you to think about some of the teaching ideas that you have come up with, either by yourself or with your teacher colleagues, and ask yourself if there are any ideas that you feel you would like to share with teachers around the world, and then start writing your article. That is what I have prepared today. I would be glad right now to answer any questions that any of you have. We have, I think, a few more minutes here. I should also let you know that following the webinar, there will be a chance to ask and answer questions with me in a separate Zoom meeting. I think the link for that will come up soon, or maybe it has come up already. But I would also be happy to answer questions right now if you have any. If you don't have questions, again, I want to show you the email where you can submit articles, etforum@state.gov. And here is the information. The website for our forum is americanenglish.state.gov/forum. There's the email, etforum@state.gov, and then the submission guidelines at the bottom will explain how to prepare your article. But again, I would encourage all of you to think about what teaching ideas have you developed? What problems have you solved? What have you and your colleagues done that you feel is new and that could be interesting for teachers in other places? Okay, there's a question, is there a kind of format to send the article? Well, format, usually people will just use Microsoft Word, and I'm not sure if there's a format except for the try this section that is step by step. For the other article, it's paragraph by paragraph, just the way that you would write an essay or some other kind of writing. The different one is try this, where you would write step 1, step 2, step 3. And as I said before, that is an easier, I think it is an easier kind of article to write. Yeah, I see there's also a question, is English Teaching Forum an indexed article? It is indexed in 2 places. It is indexed in ERIC, ERIC, and it is indexed in EBSCO, EBSCO. So yes, indexed in ERIC and indexed in EBSCO. Okay, I can wait just a little bit more if there are any other questions. Again, forum is published 4 times a year. And I should mention there that on the website, the americanenglish.state.gov website, we have forum articles all the way every year since 2001. So now 23 years worth of forum articles are available on the American English website. And you can go there, you can search by topic, you can search by keyword. If you know the name of an author, you can search for that author's name. So again, I encourage you to go there. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of articles available. Where exactly can I find the articles? Because I see many things in that website. There should be a menu. There should be a drop-down menu at the top of the page, only for English Teaching Forum. I don't know if I can connect to the page on this webinar. Yeah, if you go to the if you go to that website, americanenglish.state.gov, you will see at the top and on the right, English Teaching Forum. If you click on that, you should be able to go straight to the forum page. You will see a current issue, and you can find past issues, and you can do a search. Somebody asked if the article is accepted, is it paid? I'm sorry to say that no, we cannot pay authors. You cannot pay authors when we publish their work. Most academic journals will not pay you, but we can send you a few paper copies of the issue, and we will do a lot to promote your article on social media, on Facebook, sometimes in webinars. So we will do everything that we can to share the news about your article and get other people to read your articles and use your teaching idea that you explain in the article. So there are other ways that you can benefit, not by getting paid, but there are other rewards that you can get for having your article published. Okay, Tanya, I'm glad you could find the information there on the website. And I guess we're about ready to finish here. So I want to thank everybody for joining the webinar. I've enjoyed talking about forum. I hope that it was interesting, and especially I hope that it was helpful to you. Again, I encourage everybody to consider writing an article for forum. But even if you don't, or you feel that you're not ready, I also encourage you to go to the forum website and try some of the articles. And we have so many great teaching ideas available there on the website. Um, Please make forum a resource for your teaching or for your colleagues. I'm sure you can find something that you can use for your teaching. And so this is a good chance. This webinar is a good chance for me to kind of share the news about forum and encourage you to use it as a teaching resource and to consider sharing your own ideas by writing and submitting an article to forum. So again, I think there will be a separate Zoom meeting after this. Okay, so I see that there's a announcement there. So I guess it's just about time to end this part of the webinar. Again, thank you for joining us. If anybody wants to stay around and join in the Zoom meeting after this, I will be there. If you have other questions, I will be glad to do my best to answer them. But for now, I think I'll say thanks again. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, since most of you are still on Thursday. Again, it's Friday morning for me. It's a beautiful day here in Bangkok. Thanks to everyone, and I hope to hear from you either in person someday or maybe through your writing when you submit an article to forum. So thanks again, and hope to hear from you sometime soon.